back to Afternoon Express, and I hope that you're cooking along side by side with us with our Afternoon Express website close by. Now, we hope that you've definitely been taking notes as we continue with this delicious cook-along. Now, we've started making our delectable arancini, and now to get ahead with our blissful lasagna. Now, this looks good, Dumi. I mean, South Africa might not know this, and I know that I speak a big game about chicken. But deep down, lasagna is my favorite meal of all time. Lasagna, beef lasagna with a green salad on the side. Magnifique.
This, I've been working with you, I don't know for how many months now, and this is the first time I have found out that Balisa has a favorite dish that is not chicken.
Yeah, I know. I'm guilty. Okay, so how do we start with this delicious meal?
Okay, I've just got some oil in there. Lerato, may I please have the onion? We're going to just start browning our onions here. A lot of people do a step that I also like, which is to brown your meat first. Yeah. So you can do that. It's completely up to you. Like, you know, like what we normally do on Afternoon Express. We give you tips and tricks, basics. And then if you want to do your own thing, you're more than welcome to do that. So most people, like for instance, if we were doing a different kind of recipe, then we would probably brown the meat first. If you're making a ragu with whole meat, we take that meat, seal it like you normally do a stew, and then, you know, take it out, put all the other ingredients. You know what I'm talking about,
I know what you're talking about. I mean, like once you seal it, and then you get that beautiful golden color on your meat, sealing all the juices in there, then yeah.
I mean, he has been saying that his palate has definitely taken a flavor journey, and you're definitely enjoying more of those meaty textures.
Meaty textures, yeah, all the way. Grew up eating meat, and I don't think that'll ever stop.
Yeah, love that.
And then what we're going to jump on now, Palisa, I just want you to we're making a bechamel sauce. There's butter there and flour, so you want to put your butter in a pot. Okay. So you're going to melt that. While you're melting it, you just wait for it to start foaming. And then once it starts foaming, and then you add your flour.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so while you're adding that flour, you're going to whisk it up at the same time. You can lower the temperature on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, stunning. So then for the perfect bechamel sauce, I think we've made so many bechamel sauces on the show at Afternoon Express, but I think that it just goes so perfectly with so many different meals. And I also love the fact that here in Italy, they definitely do celebrate a good bechamel. So to get the bechamel right, I wanted the appelele way. Help me.
Appelele way, just wait for the butter to foam, as I said, and then you're going to start adding that flour slowly in there.
Love that.
So what you're looking for that beautiful golden color. So that means that you're taking away all that flour flavor on it, because you don't want the starchiness coming through.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, stunning.
And then another trick to it, when we're adding the milk, you just add it bit by bit, just small amounts of it, because you don't want to have a bechamel that's all lumpy.
Absolutely. There's nothing worse than trying to work through bumps and lumps into your any sauce of yours, essentially. Okay, lovely.
I think also, like, people don't cook out the flour, so you can actually feel the flour when you eat.
Wow.
So I think you should cook the roux much longer before you add your milk.
Okay, I love that. And do you know the trick, Lerato and Apelele, that I heard about that, is when the roux starts smelling like popcorn. Someone in our loft was making popcorn a little earlier, and that's essentially the same smell that we want to kind of help come through to allow us to remember, okay, cool, the flour is ready and we can add our milk.
Yeah.
Okay, help
so
like that.
I've also started with the meat part, the ragu part of our risotto. So what I've got here is I've got some onions, some garlic, some bay leaves, and I've crumpled up a bit of beef stock. And what normally happens is people will buy the stock that's already in a bottle. You can do that as well, but I know majority of South Africans have at least one beef stock or chicken stock cube in the house. So you can use that. So instead of putting the liquid in there, putting lots of water, all I'm doing is I'm putting the beef stock there because I want that flavor. And I'm going to be adding some more of the garlic that Lerato is chopping up for us. And then I've got a mixture of meat here. So I've got beef and I've got pork. And the thing is, it all differs. It depends on you as a person. The reason I'm adding more pork is because it's got the lard. And that lard on it, that flavor, the fat from...
the lard.
It just
delicious.
It does something to me, you know. So I needed to make sure we've got the fattiness of it, but obviously when it cooks down, it releases a lot of flavor into the actual meat itself. So I'm just going to go in now with a bit more garlic. And the one thing I haven't been mentioning here is this amazing ingredient that we're going to be using, which is our Clover Bliss. It is a source of 10 vitamins. So it is one of the, it's a guilt-free ingredient to add to our dish right now, because we're going to put it in our white sauce over there. So it's going to mellow out with the milk and then enhance the flavors of the cheese. It's basically going to make sure our sauce is exactly how we want it to be. We don't want it too runny, but we want it nice and thick to hold its flavor. And now I'm going to go in with the rest of our ingredients here, our beef and our pork. And all we want here is just basically want this to brown and cook down and become that beautiful, mincy, saucy, amazing, delicious lump of goodness that we want.
Okay, stunning. My sauce is definitely coming together quite well. It's starting to thicken up. And I'm definitely taking the point that Lerato gave me to add my milk slowly. I love that because it definitely helps you get control of what you're putting together and what you're forming. We want something smooth, we want something creamy, and we want our lasagna to be exactly the way we love it, Liam.
Exactly. So now I'm going to just... The other thing I love about lasagna, Palisa, is that you could actually make lasagna with any ingredient. We've got people making chicken lasagna. We've got beef lasagna that I'm making here. You could even make a vegetarian lasagna with lentils. You could use eggplant instead of the pasta sheets. It's completely up to you. So this is by far one of the few recipes where you could actually add your own twist by means of changing the whole thing altogether, you know? Whatever floats your boat, just add your own flavor. Add your own flair to it.
That. I'm going to keep adding more milk here. In fact, South Africa, because I've been trying to get my fitness up and I've been trying to get these gains up, I'm just going to ask us to quickly swap places now.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
So that he can get to all the work because, you know, hey, Womandla indeed, but there is nothing that beats a little handyman in the kitchen. Thank you so much for helping me there, Aphelele. South Africa, I hope you are cooking along side by side. I hope you have definitely gone onto our Afternoon Express website, afternoonexpress.co.za, and you can get this incredible list of ingredients, how you can start shopping to be able to cook exactly like us here on Afternoon Express. And of course, when you accompany it with this delicious Clover Bliss that I'm so obsessed with, I think we cook with it almost every week here on the show. I just think it just elevates every meal. Hey, Aphelele.
Yes, it is. I mean, like, it's going to make this bechamel sauce much more smoother also.
Yeah.
You saw that I was grating a lot of cheese here. This is all going to go in this bechamel sauce, and I don't think there's ever enough cheese. So,
I agree. There's never enough cheese. Bring on the cheese. Okay.
So
this is also a good source of calcium.
It is.
And protein.
Like we mentioned, it's a good source of 10 vitamins. So imagine the fact that you're putting this in there. Don't worry. It actually is good for you. So
I love that. Okay, so we are at our halfway point.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask us to just recap. We're going to continue with the rest of this recipe a little bit later on in the show. So right now you just added something, recap bechamel, and then Dumi can go.
I just added nutmeg to this. This brings out also the nuttiness on the dish. Yeah. Can you add a little bit of cheese to this, please, buddy?
Okay. Whilst I'm adding the cheese to that nutmeg addition of that bechamel, it looks delicious. It looks... Actually, let me do this because I don't want to lose any of that deliciousness. Dumi, can you give us a quick recap?
Sure. So in our beef ragu here, we've got some beef. We've got some pork, all of it minced. We've got some bay leaves, salt, pepper. We've also put in some garlic and onion there that were fried off before, sauteed, make sure it's nice and sweated. And now we're just browning all of our meat. And what's going to happen now is we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. Obviously, when we come back, we've got some tomato paste, some tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, as well as, some sugar.
Some sugar, I love it. Lerato, you still with us? Thumbs up? You're loving it all. Are you as excited to dive into this at the end of the show as I am?
That's my favorite meal. Yay.
It's going down in the kitchen. Please do head over to our Afternoon Express website to get this. Now, coming up, we're going to complete this mouth-watering lasagna dish, so don't go anywhere.
With the creamy decadence of double cream bliss from Clover, yogurt has never been so irresistible.
Made with love by Clover.